another dope workshop for you. I love the word dope, that's why I keep using it. So we have another dope workshop for you. Our next workshop host, her name is Dr. Saniyyah Mayo, and she's also a personal friend of mine. We become very close. I feel like we just clicked when we first met, and so that's been a good thing for, I think, both of us. But Saniyyah is dynamic. She's a dynamic speaker, and what we have in common is we love to empower women. So we connected on that initially. I'm going to read her bio for you. And it's on the inside of your program too, if you wanted to look at that. You don't have to, but just so that you know, if you want to reference back to it later. So Dr. Saniyyah Mayo is a psychotherapist, motivational speaker, author, and writer. Saniyyah has recently started her own online talk show, Talk with Saniyyah. She organized a women empowerment seminar where she served as a keynote speaker in July of 2016, focusing on women and young girls loving themselves. Saniyyah kicked off a Girls Gossip and Women Network campaign in spring of 2016 that touched young girls and women around the U.S. She is currently creating workshops that focus on individuals finding their passion so that they may pursue their purpose. Dr. Saniyyah Mayo is talented in many areas and inspires many with her gift of provoking thought to ultimately change the behaviors of people. So help me welcome Dr. Saniyyah Mayo. In spite of, I rise.
Yeah. So by the show of hands, how many people in passing has asked someone how are they doing today? We all have done it, right? But by a show of hands, how many people get irritated when that person stops and takes 30 minutes telling you how their day is?
Wow.
Be honest. But sometimes when we ask people, right, we're asking, how are you doing today, but we really don't care. It's just to be polite and politically correct. I'm going to give you a scenario. How many times have, when you were a kid or even as an adult, had to apologize when you didn't want to?
Oh, yeah.
So, here is a kid, right? Here's a little girl, and let's say Johnny hits this little girl hits Johnny back. Now, Johnny goes and tells his parents, in return, who goes and tells the little girl's parents, so what do you think the girl's parents do? She comes to the child and says, you have to apologize. Now, how many of you have ever been a kid and your mom comes and tells you to apologize to a kid that you know wronged you, but you don't want to apologize? It's happened to me many a time. So here's mom, because you know when I was growing up, mom wanted to see you do it. Yeah. She's standing right here and she tells you, apologize to Johnny. And I'm like, man, Johnny hit me for I don't care, apologize. Right? So you might roll your eyes on the side. You ain't gonna let her see you roll your eyes, give a little eye roll. But you won't let her see you. So then you go to Johnny and say, I'm sorry. What does your mom do? She stops you. That ain't good enough. Stop. Apologize or else. You didn't have to know or ask what that or else was because you knew what it meant. It meant it was sudden death and you didn't even want to try it. So then you're going to really apologize to Johnny, right? So then you put on a fake smile. Sorry, Johnny. Right? So then you go home. The next day you may see Johnny at school. I wasn't really sorry. I only said it because my mom made me. But the point is, from the time we are kids, we are made or conditioned to wear a mask. We are conditioned to be politically correct and be fake and phony and appease people. Just like when you asking somebody how they're doing today, you really don't care. So why even ask? It's a mask. I want to tell you about a story when I was a young girl. See, when I was 5 years old, I was swinging on the swings in front of my aunt's house. And this particular Saturday, I don't know why I chose to go in front of her house. See, we lived in a big apartment complex, and I lived in the middle. And there was a playground where I lived at, but I decided, I don't know why, this Saturday, I went to the back of the complex to go to the playground by her house. So I go to the playground, I'm swinging on the swing. Two twins come, and they stand before me and they start counting. Now, anybody that grew up with me, in my era, they know when somebody counts to 20 at school, what does that mean? It's time to count the swing. So they standing there counting, right? But in my mind, at 5 years old, I was wise enough to understand The school rules and in my apartment's rules were not the same. See, at school, I can only be on the swing for 20 seconds, right? But at home, I can swing as long as I want to, until I'm ready to get off. So they're counting, they get to 20, so now they're persistent that I get off, I'm telling them no. So I tell them my analogy of the school rules and the apartment rules. They don't like what I had to say. They went and got their mom. So I'm like, okay, she's gonna come and ask me, you know, what happened. I'm gonna tell her, but she doesn't come ask me. She goes next door to my aunt's house. So I'm like, okay, what is she going to tell them? So I see her knock on the door, and then I see my stepmom comes to the door. So she must have asked to speak to my parents. I'm like, I don't really care. I don't do nothing. At 5, this is my thoughts. True story. So my stepmom calls me over to the door, right? So I come to the door. Who in here as a kid, because I know I did, we hold adults to a certain expectation.
Yeah.
We don't expect adults to lie. Adults have the halo. Even with our parents, we don't find out they got issues till we become adults, right? But as kids, we think they're like the greatest person in the world.
Right.
So I'm not thinking that, you know, this is an adult. What could she say? So I go to the door. When I get to the door, she's telling the story. She's not telling the story quite how it happened. So she's telling my stepmom, my kids were on a swing and she just came and took it from her. And I'm just baffled. Like, oh my God, this perfect halo adult is lying, right? So what do? And see, at 5 years old, I wasn't wise enough to understand she was only repeating the story that her kids told her. So I blurted out, she's lying. What do you think happened? I was born in the 80s. What do you think happened? The conversation completely stopped. My stepmom looked embarrassed. The lady is looking at me like, did she really say that? So then my stepmom asked me, what did you say? I said, she's lying, B. I go upstairs and wait for your dad. I go upstairs and wait for my dad. Who as a kid has ever been in that place where you're waiting and the waiting is worse than the waiting? Right? So he comes an hour later, he's like, let's go home. I'm already, it's like you just walk into the sudden death. You already know what's going to happen. You called an adult a liar. And even when I was growing up, we weren't able to call adults a liar. I don't care if their hair was caught in the cookie jar. It makes me think now, I had a conversation with my dad. I said, I wonder how many pedophiles was running rapidly when you wouldn't let kids tell the truth about adults. So this is the thing we don't think about. So I go home, right? And he says, what did you say to the lady? I said she was a liar because I started getting a whooping. Some of y'all may got spanked because I got whoopings in my house. I didn't even get to get it out because I was getting whooped. What did that teach me that day? It taught me to appease, wear a mask, and go with the flow. That was the day I learned fear. Fear of speaking up even when I'm wrong. They wronged me. I was on the swing. I didn't do anything wrong. I was taught rejection. Rejected by my own father, who took somebody else's side when I was wrong. He didn't even hear what I had to say because an adult said. I learned insecurity, low self-esteem. Even if I want to express myself, I can't because who's going to believe? Sister, can you help me put on my chain? So that day, at 5 years old, I was put in a chain. And the reason why I got this chain, I'm going to hold it. I was going to put it on my foot, but it's not going how I want it. But we walk around day to day in chains, in a mask. This here is cute, right? The makeup, the clothes, is a cover-up. Because what lies beneath all of that? We walk around like that every day just to put on a mask, a facade. But what lies beneath the surface? And I don't care, everybody in here at some point has put on a mask to mask their insecurities. See, as a kid, I was a leader. I didn't know I was a leader, but apparently I was a leader, right? Because kids would follow me. I would never have to tell them what to do, but they would just follow me. So I was in the 3rd grade. I had a group of friends. So there was a girl on the block. She was bigger than all of us. She was taller than the whole group. And she fought the littlest girl in our group. And I'm in the 3rd 3rd grade. The littlest friend looked like she could be in kindergarten. So I kind of felt like she was being a bully. And I didn't like bullies, so what did I do? I stopped talking to her. And because I stopped talking to her, everybody in the group stopped talking to her. I didn't tell them to, they just did it because I did it. So she thought she was going to challenge me because I was the leader of the group. So one day we walking home from school. My older sister, her older brother's walking ahead of me. They liked each other, was dating, I don't know, something was going on. She's behind me. So she's walking behind me telling me, I'm going to smoke you like a cigarette. See, back in the day, that was a known term. When the Thursday, you got to put my chain back on. I ain't going nowhere. Hold it for me. I'm chained. I'm in bondage, because a mask is bondage. You're in bondage, and you don't even know you're in bondage. But she's following behind me, and she's telling me she's going to smoke me like a cigarette. In translation, she's going to beat me up. So I'm walking, because what did I learn that day? I learned to be passive, right? So I'm passive, so I'm not responding to her. I'm not scared of her. I just learned to be passive and not really say how I felt. Because the day I did say how I was feeling, what was going on, I was shut down. So I'm walking. So then she proceeded to hit me. She made a big mistake. That was the only hit she got in that fight. True story. That was the only hit she got in that fight. But my only question was, why did I have to fight to prove that I wasn't scared of her? See, how many times people in here had to fight for what they wanted? I've always had to fight. I'll tell you, 5 years ago, I'm driving on the 10 freeway. A guy is getting off on an exit. I guess he realized that wasn't his exit. Swerves in front of me, hit my brakes and hit him. Now the police comes out, the police finds him at fault. The documentation says he's at fault. His statement says he's at fault. Right? But I only had liability on that car. So AAA was like, they weren't paying me. So what do I have to do as a fighter? I gotta go to small claims court and get my money. So they bring out AAA's lawyers. Now mind you, in small claims court, in some courts the max is only $7,000 and some is only $10,000. So I went to the one only $7,000. So I go to court, I win my case, right? So what do? They get mad, they appeal. This time, they bring out the big lawyers. I guess I'm supposed to be scared. I represent myself, they represent their case, I win. But see, I didn't win really, because I was only allotted up to $7,000, right? So that didn't cover the loss of my car, rent a car, wages going back and forth to court. So really I lost. So I cried out to God, whoever's done that. Yeah. See, I gotta get spiritual. And people be like, why do you say that? Because without God, I would be lying. Yeah. He's a part of me. So I cried out to God and I said, you should have named me opposition, because everything I have to fight for. That was mine. Why am I fighting for something that is mine? He wronged me. He swerved in my lane. I see some things come to people so easily. And I'm like, why I gotta fight? Just like I had to fight the girl that day to ensure I wasn't scared. Why? Right? But sometimes that's how we walk through life. How many people here have been lied on?
Oh yeah.
I remember I was 14 years old. We moved to Georgia. Completely total, like culture shock. Completely. And this lady, I don't know if she didn't like me or what, but she goes to my mom and she tells her, she says, you see your daughter shape? Because I was always like shapely. And she told her, she's having sex. Now at this time, I had never had sex in my life. And I was so mad. Like, why would this lady lie on me? Right? Didn't understand it. What did I do? I didn't say nothing. Why? I was taught to be passive. Moving forward, how many times have you guys been lied on? I said this, but I want to say it again because I want to make a point. A lot of times, right? How did it feel?
Get back.
Let me go to my notes real quick. Just put me on. How many times have you been counted out? I was 16 when I had my first baby. My first love in high school. We had been together, we've been together since we were 13. They told me I would never amount to nothing. I'd be another statistic. I'd be on welfare. I felt bad, right? I remember when I was 19, I took pictures. I wanted to model. I took headshots and put my autograph on them. 4 years ago, my friend came to me. She said, "Saniyyah, I knew you would always be something. I kept it." I went to my other family members. I said, "You guys still have it?" They said no. Why didn't they have it? They didn't believe it. They counted me out. They thought I would never be nothing. They saw my weakness. They saw the mask. But they didn't see there was strength under the mask. They didn't see the times when I took on head warriors and beat them. They didn't see the times behind closed doors when I had to fight for what was already mine. See, I'm not just fighting for me. I'm fighting for us. See, sometimes we walk defeated because we don't know who we are or whose we are. Y'all didn't catch that. See, I had to go put on my crown. Then I figured out who I was. So then it was a certain way I had to walk. I had to talk. I had to link up with certain people. I don't deal with anybody. My friends will tell you that. My contacts extensive. My friends exclusive. I don't deal with everybody. So I'm in this place and I'm like, "God, why? But why?" He said, "I equipped you for a time such as this. I taught you to fight because where they will give up, you will keep going." They said, "Saniyyah, it takes 2 years to write a book." I wrote mine in 2 months. But you'll never get your movies out. I don't care what you say. I'm going to write this screenplay anyways. But you won't get your programs in schools. Shopping it around the schools right now, getting told yes. I don't believe in what people tell me I cannot do. Because people would tell you what you can't do all the time. I didn't understand the lies. I didn't understand it. People are going to lie on you. Greater the call and greater the responsibility. Where I take you, you got to have tough skin. You got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for the lies. My husband, I tell him when they put comments on my videos, leave it there. It's going to be 100 more, thousands. I got to be mentally prepared to not care what people think because where I'm going. Because I'm not doing it for me. I know it's millions behind me coming through the door. March 27, 1981 in my mom's womb. I ate some feces in her womb. Came out blue. They thought I was going to die. I was never supposed to be here. The enemy didn't want me here. See, when I was in chains, I was a joke. People didn't take me serious. But when I put on this, I'm a threat. Do you know people try to stop me from even talking here today? I've been booked this whole month. Every day before I'm going to speak, somebody call, somebody come, somebody do something. They're trying to take me off my game. Why? Because I'm a threat. The enemy didn't want me here. That's why they tried to kill me at birth. I was a fighter at birth. I had to fight for my life. A few minutes old. Don't ever let anybody tell you what you cannot accomplish, who you can't be. Because I, you, we rise. So thank you guys for having me, and those that know what I'm going to say, I want you to join me. Until next time, as I always say, continue to break cycles.
GrindFace.